The Great Depression was one of the hardest times in American history. After the stock market crashed in 1929, businesses closed, banks failed, and millions of people lost their jobs. By the time Franklin D. Roosevelt became president in 1933, nearly 1 in 4 Americans was unemployed. Families were struggling to survive, and many had lost their homes and savings. In response, President Roosevelt launched something called the New Deal, a series of programs and laws meant to bring relief to suffering Americans and to help rebuild the economy. The New Deal was designed around 3 big ideas: relief, recovery, and reform. Relief meant giving immediate help to people who were struggling. Recovery meant starting the economy so that businesses could reopen and hire workers again. Lastly, reform meant fixing the financial system to prevent another crisis in the future. In the first 100 days of Roosevelt's presidency, the government moved fast. They passed laws to reopen banks, help people with their mortgages, and give emergency aid to those in need. One example was the Federal Emergency Relief Administration, which gave money to states and cities to fund things like soup kitchens and homeless shelters. Another was the Homeowners Loan Corporation, which gave low-interest loans to help people keep their homes and avoid foreclosure. One of the biggest parts of the New Deal was creating jobs for people who had been out of work for years. The Civilian Conservation Corps hired young men to plant trees, build parks, and protect natural resources. The Works Progress Administration built roads, bridges, schools, and even hired artists and workers to document American life. These programs gave millions of Americans not just a paycheck, but a sense of purpose during a difficult time. The Tennessee Valley Authority was another New Deal project that helped both the economy and the environment. It created jobs by building dams that provided electricity to rural areas in the South, controlled flooding, and improved farming conditions. Programs like the Public Works Administration also created infrastructure projects to reduce unemployment and help the economy grow. Unemployment began to go down slowly, and people started to believe that things could get better. But even with all this help, by 1939, 6 years after the New Deal began, unemployment was still high, around 17%. The economy had improved, but millions were still jobless. So this brings us to the big question. Did the New Deal actually end the Great Depression? Many historians say the answer is no. While the New Deal helped ease the pain and suffering, it didn't fully solve the economic problems of the 1930s. The programs brought relief, but the economy remained weak and recovery was slow. It wasn't until something big happened, World War II, that the US economy finally returned to full strength. When the United States joined World War II in 1941, everything changed. The government began spending huge amounts of money to build weapons, ships, planes, and supplies. Factories that had been shut down during the Depression reopened to make military equipment. Millions of Americans were hired to work in these factories, and millions more joined the military. This massive increase in government spending and production ended unemployment almost overnight. By 1944, the unemployment rate had dropped to just 1.2%, something the New Deal never achieved. Even though the New Deal didn't completely end the Great Depression, it changed America forever. Many of the programs started during that time are still around today. The Social Security Act passed in 1935 created a system to support elderly Americans, people with disabilities, and the unemployed. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation was created to protect people's bank savings. Additionally, the Securities and Exchange Commission was formed to regulate the stock market and prevent another crash. The Wagner Act gave workers the right to form unions and bargain for better wages and working conditions. The Fair Labor Standards Act set rules for minimum wage and a 40-hour work week. These reforms made American work life more fair and stable, and they're still a part of our laws today. So did the New Deal end the Great Depression? Not exactly. The New Deal helped millions of people get through hard times. It gave them jobs, hope, and a stronger belief in their country. It also laid the foundation for many programs and protections that we still benefit from today. However, it was World War II with its massive economic push that truly ended the Great Depression. Still, the New Deal changed how Americans saw the role of government. For the first time, people expected the government to help during times of crisis to protect jobs, savings, and basic needs. That idea shaped the modern United States and continues to influence how we respond to challenges today. The New Deal might not have ended the Great Depression, but it helped build a stronger America, one that could stand up again when the time came.